Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome back. And today we're gonna be looking at some of the most insane Shark Tank deals that you absolutely have to see. But before we start the video, make sure to smash the thumbs up button if you're a Shark Tank fan, join the notification squad by subscribing and hitting that bell notification on, but also, don't forget to comment down below saying I subscribed to enter our monthly shoutouts, and we'll make sure to reply and thank as many of you as we possibly can. Hope you enjoy the video. As Shark Tank is about to go into its 10th season, and the sharks are getting ready to invest their money into more new and exciting ideas, we want to take a moment and look back at some of the most memorable deals made on the show. From times when the sharks almost ate each other alive to incredibly large investments, here are 10 of the most insane Shark Tank deals you definitely have to see. In January 2014, Bruno Francois entered the Shark Tank in order to pitch his idea of Cycloramic, a mobile app that makes use of vibrations in your phone to capture 360-degree panoramic photos. All you need to do is place your phone in portrait mode and on a flat surface, and the app will take the panoramic photo on its own. With all sharks interested in a deal, an insanely long and vicious bidding war ensued that eventually saw Francois making a deal with Mark and Lori for $500,000 in exchange for a 15% stake in the company, leaving Damon, Kevin, and guest shark Steve Tisch pretty unhappy. In episode 26 of season 5, Mark Cuban made a deal with Rob Dickens and Brad Scrutter, who together had founded an urban adventure and obstacle course company called Rugged Races. For 25% equity in their Boston-based company, the investor gave the pair $1.75 million, which allowed them to expand the company to 28 cities, with sales effectively doubling to $10.5 million within the first year alone. Dickens and Scrutter had to move to a new headquarters and hire additional staff workers. It seems that Cuban made a very wise investment, as the two co-founders also have plans to expand Rugged Races to international territory in the future. When Al Bubba Baker, 1978 NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year, came to the Sharks in Season 5, he secured a deal for his rib business with Daymond John. John offered him $300,000 in exchange for 30% equity and licensing rights to his company, Bubba's Q Boneless Ribs. John helped Baker secure a deal with a large-scale food processing plant, which helped it becoming a national brand with over $200 million in lifetime sales. John later stated that as someone who built a career in fashion, he never thought that a rib business would turn out to be his most profitable investment. Fortunately, Melissa Carbone didn't scare all the sharks away with the characters of her life horror entertainment company, 1031 Productions. Billionaire investor Mark Cuban offered her $2 million for 20% stake in her Los Angeles-based company. After the show, the company had to triple its cast to nearly 1,000, and has since also created New York Haunted Hayride, which, like the LA Haunted Hayride, is a Halloween-themed attraction held on all weekends in October. Apart from these attractions, there are also the Great Horror Campout during summers, the Ghost Ship, and the Great Movie Horror Night, and with over $500,000 of annual profits that the company has been pulling in since Carbone appeared on television, Cuban's investment has clearly turned out to be quite profitable. In October 2015, young entrepreneurs Chelsea and Leanne came to the Shark Tank seeking a $150,000 investment in exchange for 10% of their Lollywear business. The two had met at one of the most prestigious design schools in New York City and combined their passion about the environment and sustainability with their design skills to produce a disposable drinking cup that was not only 100% biodegradable, but also completely edible, or biogradable, as the tagline put it. The sharks love the cup of the future that offers fun flavor combinations for both beverages and desserts, so much so that they didn't even let the girls answer all the questions before making the first offer. Robert Herjavec started things off by offering to put up the $600,000 the entrepreneurs were missing from their goal to raise $1 million. He wanted to team up with another shark to invest $600K, for which the entrepreneurs offered him 25% of the business, to which Mark Cuban suddenly said done. The sharks then started talking all at once, with the girls looking a little overwhelmed and trying to hear out every single one of the investors. At this point, the tables had turned, as the sharks were now the ones trying to impress the young entrepreneurs with their offers and their amount of money. As they wouldn't stop talking, the girls almost looked confused, and then a little relieved when Lori Greiner dropped out since they now only had 4 sharks left to deal with. After this ridiculous brawl among the investors had gone on for a few minutes, Kevin O'Leary eventually summed up the options, and Chelsea and Leigh-Ann went home with Mark Cuban and Barbara Corcoran as new business partners, as well as 4 times as much money as they had come for, without having to give up too much of their business. Striking a deal with all 5 sharks is pretty rare, but one of these deals was made on the show during the 7th season in 2015. J.D. Claridge and Charles Manning got Cuban, O'Leary, Herjavec, Greiner, and John interested in their drone startup, X-Craft. The 5 agreed to give the pair $1.5 million for 25% equity, split evenly between the sharks. In the nearly 2.5 years since the episode aired, X-Craft had become not just a drone technology developer, but also a mass marketer of some of the most innovative products in the world of drone technology. Their main product, the X+1, combines the helicopter's hovering abilities with an airplane speed and is helping X-Craft capture the drone market by storm. And with the sharks getting 25% of the company's profits, this surely was one of the smartest investments they ever made. Lori Greiner had no idea that the deal she made with Aaron Krause, founder and CEO of the company Scrub Daddy in Season 4, would turn out to be one of the biggest success stories in the show's history. After a long bidding war between Lori, Damon, and Kevin O'Leary, Krause struck a deal with Lori, who gave him $200,000 for 20% equity in his company that produces sponges made of polymer, which changes texture, soft in hot water, hard in cold water. The little Scrub Daddy sponges with smiley faces are now a regular feature in many American households and pulled in over $100 million in sales in just 3 years. Mark Feargay stepped in front of the sharks to introduce his idea of his educational label and publishing house called Classroom Jam that would revolutionize the way things are taught in schools, according to the high school English teacher. He explained that while looking for a better way to get his pupils into literature such as Shakespeare, he had come up with a solution in music. Feargay started playing one of the songs from his album, for which he had written and performed all of the songs, and it clearly impressed all the sharks. The teacher was seeking $250,000 for 10% of the company, but didn't want to sell the rights to the songs, which upset the investors. After a lot of business talk, Kevin O'Leary asked Mark to step out, something the sharks don't do very often, and told the other sharks that he didn't want to compete with them, but wanted everyone to offer a $250,000 and a 5% royalty for 100% of the company, which would include the rights to the songs. When they offered Feargay the deal, he thought for a moment before repeating that he wanted to build a company and maintain equity in it. Despite persuasion from Kevin O'Leary and Damon John, Robert Herjavec saw that the teacher was not budging, so he alone made Feargay a new offer of $250,000 for 100% of the company, with the option to buy back 49%, and then another one of $250,000 for 51% of the company, which led to an argument between Herjavec and O'Leary. Because the entrepreneur in front of them seemed a little bit overwhelmed at this point, O'Leary re-explained the original offer, and Kevin Harrington added that once the sharks got their money back, Feargay could buy back equity that would equalize the stake of all 6, and after much negotiation, the high school teacher decided to take his new offer from all 5 sharks and sold them his entire company. In May 2015, singer Pat Boone and his business partner Ethan Tucker appeared on Shark Tank, pitching their idea of the AirPod, a car that uses compressed air to drive the pistons on the engine and has absolutely no pollution output. The two were seeking $5 million in exchange for 50% of their company's zero pollution motors, and eventually ended up making a deal with Robert, who gave them exactly what they wanted for the opportunity to negotiate for the rights to bring it to the US. While this was one of the largest deals ever made on the show, it unfortunately fell through later on as Zero Pollution Motors didn't own the rights across North America. Our number 1 is another deal that could have gone down as one of the largest investments in Shark Tank history, but unfortunately fell through once the cameras were off. During Season 6, Dr. Christopher Sakessels, CEO of Syndaver Labs, introduced this company that makes synthetic human tissue and body parts, something that is vitally important to the advancement of medical training along with having many other useful applications. He eventually struck a deal with Robert, who wanted to invest $3 million in exchange for 25% equity in the company. But when they later traded further information and initial terms, the partnership fell apart, mainly because Christopher wasn't ready to be replaced as CEO. Syndaver Labs still ended up a huge success, however, as the company is steadily growing and its products have appeared in many TV shows, including Grey's Anatomy, Mythbusters, and CSI Crime Scene Investigation. Thank you for checking this video out, and don't forget to smash that like button and also subscribe for new videos every day. Turn that bell notification on and comment down below that you subscribed, and we'll make sure to reply and thank as many of you as we possibly can. Once again, thank you for watching and see you next time.